I want to take a moment to thank Simon Sinek, who famous for his "Know Your Big Why," for prompting this week's discussion, this episode's topic on two, not three. What? It's an apocryphal, classic salesperson story that you can use, and we'll do that in this episode of the VO Heroes podcast. We sometimes want to give our clients, our peers, our suppliers, casting, editors, etc. We want to give them as many choices as possible. We want to give them just, you have all kinds of options here. I want to give you as big a world to choose from as possible. That's not always a good idea. It's just not. In fact, overwhelming choice can stop people in their tracks. And it can stop you in your tracks as well as you're trying to decide what approach to take with a character or what approach to take with a writing passage or who knows. We tend to assume that the more choice we have, the better. And that's actually not necessarily true. There's a story of a shoe salesman in the 50s whose name happened to be Ben Prober. I was reminded of this when Simon Sinek mentioned it in an interview that he did. And by the way, if you haven't seen Simon Sinek's TEDx or TED Talk, not TEDx, but TED Talk on Your Big Why, you should go watch it. It's like one of the most popular TED Talks there is. Anyway, he tells a story in a recent interview about Ben Prober, whose rule as a shoe salesman was 2, not 3. Let me explain what he said. The way he told it, a woman would come into his shoe store and she'd say, "Oh, I'd like to try those shoes. And can I also see those shoes?" And he would bring out the first pair, bring out the second pair, and she'd go, "Okay, those are great. Can I try those as well?" And he would say, right then and there, "Which of these do you want me to take away?" Because he knew that if he brought a third pair out, there was a good chance that she wouldn't buy any of them because she'd be a little overwhelmed by the number of choices. But if she only had 2 to choose from, this or that, a binary choice, there was a much better chance that she would buy one of them. That was his experience over years and years and years of being a shoe salesman. And he was their best salesperson, he felt, because he limited the choice that his customers had to a manageable number. He decided that the number for his particular case was 2, not 3. And you can use this in your approach to the choices you want to make as you design a character, as you're narrating an audiobook, how you're going to set up your profile. When you talk to a client about their options, present them 2 at a time. They may have more than 2 options, but just present them 2 at a time, get rid of the ones that you don't need, and that makes it a lot more manageable as opposed to the overwhelm that you can feel when you have more than a reasonable number of options to choose from. It's like when you walk into a restaurant and you look at this massive menu and it's like, what? Great example. There's a hamburger chain, that is competing with Culver's in Wisconsin called Mooyah that my friends Bob and Edie introduced me to last time I visited them. Their menu has like 4 items on it. Burgers, fries, soft drinks and something else. I don't know. Maybe they have a dessert. I don't know. But it's like so simple. You're like in and out and off to the races you go, and you're not overwhelmed with the menu that many restaurants have decided is the appropriate way to go. But for us as performers, we tend to want to be very generous and of service and how can we help you? Sometimes to a point of being too helpful, too generous, too overwhelming with the number of choices that we offer. So think about this. 2, not 3, when presenting options to anybody that you're dealing with. By the way, this works really well with kids as well. Okay, for dinner, you can have your choice of this or that, not what do you want. What in the world do you want me to make you, right? I remember it from at some point in my life with my daughters. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Have you heard versions of this story over the years that talk about limiting choice to a manageable number? What are your thoughts on this? And how could you possibly use this in your practice, in your creative practice as an actor or voice talent or writer? My peeps, my peeps. Let me know in the comments below on VOHeroes.com. That's where the conversation is nice and polite and sane and respectful. You can join our mailing list there. Scroll all the way down to the page where this episode lives and join the mailing list if you're not on it. And also, you can hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel. You can click the notification bell. Can you see the overwhelming choices here? Listen to what and especially about shoes, right? Shoemaker, your children's feet are bare. Okay. But I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad that you did that. You can also forward this. Add one more thing. You can also forward this to another creative type who might need to hear about this apparently oblique message about limiting choices. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I thank you so much for watching and or listening. 1, 2 choices. Okay. And I'll see you in the next episode of the VO Heroes podcast.